Start with pledge allegiance to the flag.
And
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Cindy.
Mr. Blanton,
Here.
Mr. Reiniger,
Here.
Mr. Robinson.
Here. Okay, selected first thing on the agenda is the replacement of resolution 2023-12. The replacement 2023-13. Currently, we asked for renewal of the levy, it's no longer with us. So, this is the renewal.
No, it's a new levy.
It's a new levy with the new evaluation, right?
Yes.
For the waste collection, will be an additional tax of 2.75 mils. And, we're gonna request certification from county auditors. We get a motion to approve the resolution. I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution. Second.
Okay. Mr. Blanton,
Yes.
Mr. Reiniger,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes. Okay, to consider the proposal from Brennan Electric to provide electric service for the water tank fill station.
So unless anybody's got any questions, I'll go ahead and make a motion for that. It's $4,475. This is in, I guess, with the, well, like Jack said, the filling station that we're trying to put in for the Jordan Road residents until we get the, water line hopefully in the future, in the near future, we can get the water lines. But it's still going to take a few. I'll make a motion that we'll go ahead and approve this. They can, I think, I'll just read the price for item. $4,475. It's for the, putting utility bowl, drilling, full included, and meter panel, and overhead service, 2 GFI, and inspection fees, and all that's included.
What's the time frame? Did they give a time frame
For this,
to be able to?
this will be soon. You mean,
Like,
install?
would they complete it like at the end of this?
They're just putting in electric, it's just for the electric. The other part of it, I'm not sure. It's gonna be sooner than later. Okay. So it's supposed to have a, heat box with this, you know, worry about 360. So, and I think Mr. Jim, I'm sorry. Right.
Sorry, we have no
I'm
problem.
thinking birds, no, I don't know why I'm thinking that, but is
Doing
in,
fire chief, fire water and that.
is in talks with that company and sorting all that out right now.
Yeah, I did, talk with, Rusty from Sleeps Waterworks today. Actually, we exchanged text messages, he's off with his new grandson. He's fine with Nair Plumbing doing the tap. He has a favorite person over there he'd like to request to do it, but, so I think that was one of the hurdles with it for Nair, was making sure that they could do the tap, and there wouldn't be an issue with that. So I think we're probably ready to,
Move forward, well, this is the first step.
and you weren't at the meeting, but they did approve for me to go ahead and execute a contract based on lowest and best. So now that we have all that information, hopefully we're ready to do that, sir.
We have 2 bids on it. We have the iron, and we have another bid. The main thing out of those bids, trying to think of the other company.
Complete contractors,
It's a good contract.
but very reputable.
But neither,
Is there any type of EPA requirement for top loading or bottom loading? Like be water, I don't think.
We'll have to have it all have to be approved by the EPA. I'm sure they have
It's like,
regulations.
not like refinery, we had to top load.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a top load.
no, I already included the heat box. Which we needed. So,
Okay.
so this is just for the.
They both include backflow preventers, which is gonna be the big thing EPA includes, they're gonna want to look at.
Second motion. Did you make one, Dan?
Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Blanton,
Yes.
Mr. Reiniger,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes. Okay, number 4 on the agenda, to consider changes to I'm sorry, number 3, really, to discuss the organization of the department liaisons and administrators' role in overseeing these departments as per the township recording structure and other personal matters that they may relate.
It should have been first. I fell on my computer.
I probably read it wrong. Anyway.
No, you read it exactly right. I just didn't catch the mistake. So, I just wanted to be sure that, the reporting structure that I put in your packet is, still the current reporting structure, and this is how you want to move forward. I think I've talked with everybody individually, but, I wanted to be sure that the department heads are going to report to me. I'm going to report to you. And, I kind of had a suggestion on, like, we call them liaisons, or department. I'm not sure what you call them. Everybody had a department with multiple things that they were kind of.
Committee, we call them committees.
Okay. So what I think works best is it's hard for everybody to keep up with everything. So it's kind of nice if somebody has the fire department, somebody has the service department, somebody has the police, things like that. So if you go ahead and still assign a trustee to those committees, then if something's going on with the fire department that we need to talk to at least a trustee about, whoever that committee person is, I go to them first, and then we decide if we need to take it to the other trustees. If I need a trustee in a meeting, we try to get that person first. Because obviously I can't have 2 of you at a time, otherwise then we have to advertise. So if moving forward, if you're okay with that format, you don't have to decide today. I just wanted to talk about that and make sure that we were all on the same page, that I'm doing what you want me to do.
Tammy, did you get a copy of this? I got it.
So, yes, I didn't make a copy for him, but Ken was good enough to make it for him, and I realized that, so thank you, Ken.
So I'll come, and yeah, we approved the structure, and I'm okay with everything the same. And that was one of my concerns, was that which we haven't decided how the committees are going to be set up and what departments we're going to oversee yet. But with that being said, I want to try to stay with that. Still reporting to you, but because I don't like years with them deals about it, but what I oversee, which is the maintenance, senior center, roads, and a couple other things, I want to be involved. Know what's going to stay up on everything, especially with all these projects going on and meeting with Strauss so that we have coming up in 2 weeks about the roads in 2024. And the curbs, that grant we just got, I got from the engineers for 24,000 for curb work in the township. So I'm fine with that reporting. I'm fine with all of this. I just want to, Tim and Mike and myself, we need to decide on what departments we're going to oversee and then what you would have even more.
I kind of assume you do that at your organizational meeting.
Yeah,
It'll be done first meeting.
Yeah,
Right.
the committees.
And just so Tim and Mike and you all are on the same page, while I'll be working with you on your project, with Mike on his, and Tim on his departments, it'll still be my responsibility to keep the other trustees up to date on what's going on. That's where I see my role. So it's great to have one person for each thing, but my responsibility would be to keep them up to date so that if they get caught at Kroger's and ask a question, that they don't have to say, "See, we're doing what?" So
Right.
My job would be to keep everybody informed so that you can talk to the people and know what's going on.
Mr. Zorath, if you want to comment, feel free. This is going to affect me too, obviously. Sorry, my voice. I went to the doctor the second time this afternoon, as I did last Friday, but I want to assure everyone I'm not contagious. This is a asthma-related cough and situation. I apologize for my voice. I guess to follow up with comments already, I also agree. I just think it's important that we're crystal clear on how we explain this to the department heads and to the employees. And that there's not a multiple times in the last, almost 2 years now, from our department heads particularly, they've said that they're not sure who their boss is. And meaning when Dan Reed was hired, they didn't know whether we said, I'm not sure if Dan Reed is my boss or trustee, whoever is my boss. And I think that the way I perceive Mr. Brett is saying is that their boss would be, that they report to would be Mr. Brett as the administrator who runs the day-to-day operations. And that, again, all of us, well, we may have specific departments or projects that we're working on with a little more emphasis that they're all township employees, all ultimately report to the administrator, and that the administrator reports to the board. That's how I see it. So, I think that you're proposing, that's consistent with this board chart that was passed previously. And that's how I would like to see it done. Again, we're supposed to be sort of a board of directors and not necessarily, we need to be involved and we need to be knowledgeable and we not micromanaging every single day-to-day operation. And that's why we have you on board as a full-time administrator. So I'm hoping that we can come to an agreement between the three of us, but also very specifically articulate that to our department heads so that they have a clear understanding of the expectations going forward. Because like I said, that specific conversation has come up multiple times with that I've heard where they've said, I'm not sure if do I report to a trustee or I report to the administrator or what, and I want to make sure that it's clear to them so that they don't have any confusion.
I don't need to. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Employees can sometimes feel like your kids. If they get a mom and mom says no, then they get a dad. So yeah, we need that structure. They need to know that, and they need to know that it's your decision if you guys set the policy. So maybe I can draft something up that we can send out to all the department heads. And I'll send it to you guys for approval. Then at the organizational meeting, we'll sign it. If you're okay with that. Ken?
So I'm not rebutting what you're saying, Mike, but the departments that I oversee, none of my department has addressed that they didn't know who to give it to. So, and I see your point. That being said, we still have to decide what departments we're going to oversee. Like I said before, the administrator, we're still regarding, but that each trustee is involved in the departments.
Absolutely.
Especially for myself. So because we've got so much going on, that's why. So
Yeah, I think that's a good way of operating.
So,
So,
okay.
so and one other thing while we're talking about personnel matters, the fire chief position is posted on the Ohio Fire Chiefs Association website. Just for your information.
Do we know that on, do their public know that on our website?
I was
It's on the bio.
gonna ask who actually places things on our website. We need to put it on our website.
That's right.
I just have a question as it relates to the reporting. So as a means of example, just so I understand it better, if I am under administration, but trustee Robinson is over the committee for administration. I, as an employee, still go to you directly before I would go to him, and I would receive directive from you directly, even though he might ask me to do things.
Yeah.
Is that the way I understand it? Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was clear.
That was your thing.
And that's the way I see it.
Okay,
And with your position, all three trustees are probably gonna be calling you going, hey, can you do this?
oh, yeah, absolutely. I was just I was using myself as an example, but it's pretty much across the board. Whether it was, Ronnie or fire department or whoever, we go to you.
I think when I met with, Assistant Chief Street on Sunday, to go over his budget numbers, he asked that, he said, do I report to you?
Right.
And, he said, because it's gonna be hard not to call Jackie when he's not in office, we've been doing it so long. But I said, yes, that's the way it is, that's the way, I showed him the posting, I shared the posting before we, brought it to you on the fire chief. And he saw that it says, the fire chief will report to the administrator. And they're fine with that, they just didn't wanna not do what they were expected to. So I think once we make it clear to everybody, I think they'll be fine with that. And obviously, if they have a problem with me and I can't solve it with them, then they're gonna come to you. That's the way things work. So the one other thing I had to deal with the fire chief's position, I have a call into the Ohio Township Administration to get the Ohio Township Association to get it into their magazine and on their website. I think I've talked with all of you individually about the Center for Local Government. And I put some information on that in your packet, and I will email it to you. The cost to join that organization is $25 a year. We can post on their job board. They have a lot of services they offer, like, you just go down my list here.
What are you talking about?
It's in your
It's on-
docket.
The recommendation from
You didn't get this early. so-
Center for Local Government.
Yeah, this is the first time you've seen it, and I apologize for that. But, wouldn't have been so urgent if it wasn't for wanting to post the fire chief's position there.
Okay.
They have educational opportunities for employees and elected officials. They also have a healthcare pool for insurance that please, when they moved to that in Whitewater, when we moved to that 2 years ago, saved a significant amount of money. We had an assistant chief at Whitewater Fire Department that went to Little Miami Joint Fire District as their chief. One of the first things they did was move there because they got better coverage for less money. So with the fire contract being open for negotiations this upcoming year, if we're gonna make a move, that's the easiest time to do that. So it would offer us a chance to compare that. They also have a salary survey that they have posted. So we can virtually go on and look at any position that we have and see what other communities are paying for those positions to make sure that we're competitive, so we get the best people and that we pay what's according, but don't overpay for something. So there's a lot of good things with that. It sounds like a lot of money, but if we make that move in the health insurance pool, it'll be well worth it. So I'm not sure, I wasn't sure how much money we needed to come to you for, but I thought that was enough money that you guys should consider.
Insurance is a biggie for the entire township.
It'll be a big change, and whenever you change people's insurance, it's always, it's hard. But if we're gonna do it, I wanna make sure that we're doing it
Have
for
you
better
gone through
coverage.
the fire contract?
Please.
Have you gone through the fire contract?
I have not yet. It'll be, my Christmas reading list. So, I think we've done a lot in a week, but yeah, that's gonna be something I really need to lock my door and delve into.
What did you say, the Chiefs, Ohio Firemen's Association?
Ohio Fire Chiefs Association,
Ohio Fire Chiefs.
yeah, just Google Ohio Fire Chiefs Association jobs, and it'll pop up. So, I will say this,
We want to go on our list.
yeah, our job posting went up, and Minutes later, job posting for Ross Township went up. And their posting was for a salary of 92,000, was a $5,000 increase after 6 months of satisfactory work, and another 5,000 at 12 months. Just to give you an idea, we're on the lower end of the local townships that are on that side right now. So it's just up to Ross. Just to let you know, because there's room for negotiations on our salary and how we do it, so I think we can still be competitive. And
So you're gonna have to look at the whole.
Yeah.
Salary, just one part of the fact.
so I'll send you that posting so you guys can have to compare.
You want this approved for tonight?
Well,
You want to look at it first?
yeah,
I think you should look at it and go to their website and look at it, but maybe when we have that first meeting in December. So finally, one change that I did make to the posting was something Mr. Oaken mentioned. He asked me how I came up with the 28th for cutoff date. I kind of looked at the holidays and thought that would be a good day before the first of the year. He said, with the holidays, there's only a few business days between the Monday before our meeting, the 18th, and that 28th day. Then could we initially have that as the cutoff date and be able to extend it if we need to? And I said, sure. And he said, well, I think it would be good if we could all have those while Jack's still here and we could kind of look at the pool and see that at that last meeting in December. So we did change that date to the 18th for the cutoff. It made good sense to me for you guys to have that before the end of the year. We can always extend that date. And if we do, I'll extend it due to the holidays, not because we weren't happy with the applicants we got.
yeah, appreciate all your hard work in getting that posting up there. You know, been a long time coming and appreciate you.
I had done homework on that before you hired me, because I knew that was going to be an early.
And I'm somewhat familiar with the Center for Local Government, but yeah, I think everybody could get a chance to review it a little
Yeah.
more and then we could bring it up.
So that was the purpose of informing you tonight. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that's all I had on that. But feel free to call me if questions on that too.
Okay, and the fourth item and the last item is to consider changes to the typical meeting agenda to be explained by the administrator.
So, these are just random packets that I had in my briefcase. So one of the things Dana and I talked about was, the audience seems to lose interest after a while in our meeting, it goes so long. So he said if we could speed that process up, he'd like to see if I had any ideas for that. So, kind of peek at these, that's, what I do for Whitewater and Cleats is a packet like this. What I would suggest is that the department heads send me their reports in writing for you guys. I'm gonna see if I can get those from them like Friday at noon. And then I'll gather that information, have all that in this packet for you. And then anything that you would normally bring up, like the contracts that you sent me, if I can get those by Friday before, I'll put something like this together for you with an agenda, knowing that the agenda can always change, things come up. But then everybody will have a chance to see the department head reports. They'll have a chance to see the contracts and things that are coming up and have a chance to think about them. So then I can, if you have questions, you can call me. I can try to get you answers before the meeting. Then when we get here, there won't be as many questions. It should go like clockwork, and we'll look like we're informed. We'll know what's going on, and should make everything a little bit easier and go a lot faster. So
I agree.
you don't have to decide on this
Too much
right
to
now.
do then. You guys all not on the same page.
Did they produce this over there? Did they make it up over there?
I do it, yeah. Yeah, now, you'll notice the divider pages on that one are in color. Divider pages in this one are, I can find one, just have a border. We do that, even though it costs a lot of ink, because Captain King likes the dividers in color when he's looking for it at the meeting. So.
What now?
The dividing pages where pay ordinance, when you see the dividers in this one, they're blue.
Oh,
So, and that's so Doug can flip through, but when I send out the packet ahead of time, I send it in white because he doesn't want to print all that blue at home. So I'm very accommodating with my board of trustees. So, that would be.
I like it.
Yeah, I think it's great. Again, we talked about this previously and trying to get things, with that Friday or Monday, and it just never seemed to come about. And so this is fantastic. It'd be great. So that we can review things ahead of time and I received the night of the meeting, so that'd be fantastic.
Just for full disclosure, I didn't come up with this process. It's how we do it at the county board of health. And
How far in advance did the members of the board get these?
they got that, Whitewater got that on Saturday before a Monday meeting because the fire chief didn't give me the information until Friday night. But otherwise he would have gotten it on Friday.
So when do you think the trustees would get this?
I would hope to get it to them if everybody gets their stuff to me by Friday at noon, Saturday morning at the latest.
And you'll put this in, you would put this in their boxes then?
I would email you a copy.
And,
And then, I probably wouldn't print this until the day of the meeting because there'll be things to add and, there'll be a little note for me with them. This is new on the agenda and you'll get a new agenda beforehand. But at least you'll have the majority of stuff that's gonna come up. So you can make informed decisions.
Right.
So you can just think about it. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. I just, so, if you're gonna see our community center doesn't have near the activities that you do. Sorry, the other way around. Miami Community Center has a lot more activities than what they do at Whitewater. Those are my notes because I take the minutes. So,
We're gonna say this, but I'm gonna read it.
no, I don't expect anybody to read my chicken scratch.
Alright.
I should have been a doctor.
Not gonna happen.
So, and if you want the note pages in the back to make notes, we can do that. I don't include that in the please or Whitewater packet, but I do it for me, so it's all in one.
Yeah, I like.
So, I like to keep all my notes together, plus it's convenient for you. If you keep the agendas and things to go back and look at stuff, it's an easy way to keep it.
Is there much deviation in the meeting from this? I mean,
Very
some
simple.
things come up with.
Yep. We've had times when, the biggest thing that's come up recently at Whitewater, we had an opportunity to buy a light swap. And that's a $335,000 purchase.
700,000.
So that was, and it wasn't exactly the spot they wanted, but they wouldn't have to wait another 2 years to get the spot they wanted. When this one came up at 4 o'clock the day of the meeting. I can tell you that normally, at least 2 of those 3 trustees would not have even considered it, but because of the wait time to get it, they did, and they agreed to purchase it that night. I would hate to ask you to do that, because that's just like,
We did that.
sometimes it happens
it's sometimes it happens.
when things have to come
And it
up.
worked out really well for them, because 2 weeks later, one of their squads blew a transmission,
Obviously,
and so it was good that we had that.
and you find out
Yeah,
that they
pipeline.
save all this money.
Yeah. In the fire budget, Cindy and I haven't talked about this, but they're looking at replacing all 3 life squads. Because when time they're getting a pretty good discount on that.
Yeah.
That'll be something Cindy and I will be talking about before it comes to you guys.
The downside is down the road, you gotta replace.
You gotta replace all 3 at the same time.
When there's no shift. That could be an issue.
Yeah, we can, we talked about the tip, the next meeting.
We don't have to worry.
You still gotta worry about
15 days.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah,
But-
I know we don't need to be talking about the fire, but is that something they need to purchase before this end of the year to get the discount, or it can wait?
They won't be available until next year.
Well, I know that, but to put the price in to get that discount,
We're gonna have to put the price into the budget for probably 25. They're not gonna be available in 24.
but I'm just saying for them to order, is that something the board needs to approve now, not
Yeah,
today?
when it comes
Or
time, when we get this all done and you and I figure out if we really have that money to recommend it to them, then they'll have to approve that in 24 to get in
I just
line.
did, okay, I just didn't want them to, if there's a big discount by the end of this year, okay.
The discount was actually significant. Let's see if I can find that real quick in my notes from my meeting with Rob.
But we had that, the last time we ordered, we could save a lot of money by ordering at the end of the year than waiting till January.
I don't have the exact amount, but it was close to,
We paid 176,000 for each squad last time.
yeah,
That's 38,000 for the private.
Save,
about 340,000 each time. Yeah, wow. It was sticker shock for me. Because I believe the first box unit that we bought when I was a volunteer was about $64,000.
Yeah, but you probably got horses too, didn't you?
So, yeah, well, we didn't have to feed it.
All right,
So,
yeah,
are we good?
so that's all I had. I wanted to keep it at 30 minutes for you guys, because I know you keep putting this in.
You know what? Gonna come up during the meeting, and has been this year, I think, for a long, long time. We don't know what's coming up after the meeting starts. Okay, number 4 on your agenda.
No,
it was-
Yeah, number 4, it's done. Now, number 4.5 is, I guess, adjourn the meeting.
Do we, hold on, I got a question. Do we discuss contracts at all with executive session? That any of them?
No, we did public notice for that, so we can't.
Oh, you didn't put it in there?
we'll be having another meeting
Yeah.
as soon as this comes back, the resolution to go to board election, so we will be having another meeting in a week or two. Because of that,
So
regarding,
we need, because we need to talk about it. Personnel, I have the-
Yeah, personnel reviews, I have a whole list of things to, talk with you about individually and group as a group. So I'm glad to schedule that if you have time over the next week or so. I know you and I got to talk for quite a while the other day. I still would like to sit down face to face and ask you a few things.
Oh, no, that's for good. I don't cover it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, a long list of things for me to write her on. And Tim, I talked to Tim on Sunday when I left here after talking with Rob and Sissy. I'd still like to get together with you sometime. So, and I already have it scheduled tonight because I pestered him.
sounds good.
All right.
all right,
Good, good.
How do you get return?
I'll second.
okay, Mr. Reiniger,
Yes.
Mr. Blanton,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you, James.
You adjourn.
So I have a